Hey, look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a comet. Stick around. Hi, folks. Old Man Grognard here, and I'm looking at another Astonishing Swordsman module, this one called Beneath the Comet. And it is written for use for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, but that doesn't mean you can't use it with any other basic 1E or 2E old school game, especially first edition AD&D or OSRIC, but I'd stretch it to 2. This one was written by Ben Ball. The front cover is by Peter Mullen, and the art inside is by Jonathan Bingham and Del Tigler. Here it is. This is what it looks like. It's about 44 pages. It was published in 2015 by Northwind Adventures. And it's for characters of 6th to 9th level. So it's kind of a mid to upper mid range of levels here. You know, they've had a few adventures under their belt, that kind of thing. And it's interesting. It is. I mean, all these are interesting, but this one has a combination of all sorts of, it's got all sorts of influences. It's got Lovecraft, Poe, Clark Ashton Smith in here, Howard, you name it, you know, just like all the other Weird Tales stuff. This one has to do with a comet passing over Hyperborea, and there's a specific reason. There was this old astrologer wizard king called Comet, who basically sells his soul to a god, Zathaqua. And he tries to cheat the deity out of his death by a loophole. What happens is, basically the deity promises him power for centuries and ungodly long life and things like that, and gives him a silver tablet made out of this comet that went over when they made the deal. And they said, and the god said, when the comet comes back, your soul's mine. And he said, okay. But he found a loophole in there. They really don't say what it is in here, so I guess it's something for the game master to come up with, if at all. But all you know is he took his fort and he made it into a mound on a heath. And he dug it underground, put all sorts of magical wards and spells and things on it, traps and things. And when the comet came over again, for some reason the god couldn't get to him because of where he was. So, the upside is he cheated death and he still lives. The downside is now he's a lich. Because he can't leave the mound, otherwise the god's going to get him. And he went in there with all his advisors and his 13th wife, who was really brokenhearted and kind of hysterical about it because he took it from her garden and stuff. And, you know, she didn't like that at all. I understand that. So the god is not going to take this lying down. He basically waited for the comet to come over again, or close to it. And he had treasure maps and other things drop on the world. In fact, the group of player characters finds one of these treasure maps, and it was made by no earthly hand. But they can see if they go to these standing stones and they find this heath, there's a lot of treasure in there and stuff. Or they want or something about, I don't. So see, nobody knows. As far as I know, nobody knows that lich is still in there. Or they may know. That's up to the game master. Who knows? But anyway, they go, and there's also this rival group of evil characters that are looking for it, because, you know, these maps turn up anywhere. So not only does the player characters have to deal with all the traps and things like that, they have to deal with a rival group, which makes things a little more interesting when you got more than one group going after something. And it comes off as a really rich adventure, because you don't go directly to the heath. I mean, you've got a few side things you have to do first, or just to get there. Here's what the book looks like. Nice layout, of course, like all their products. They've got things in here like I said, a rival group. There's an evil alchemist that is plaguing the land that this town wants them to do something about if they're not in a hurry. They may run into this woman, a fortune teller. It doesn't really have much impact on the story unless the game master wants it to, or that could possibly set up some kind of like plot hooks for something else down the road. You never know. She's just there for, hey, here she is. The fortune teller, at one point, they get accosted by a bunch of werewolves. And that's even before, and this is in the Standing Stones, that's even before they even get to the heath and the mound. So they've got a lot of stuff to go through with experience to boot, plus the usual, wandering monsters, things like that. And they also have in here what they call super ape men. They have ape men, and they've got this object. First of all, in one scenario, I believe with the alchemist, they find this shard of something, of some kind of metal. They don't know what it is, but it glows. So what they do, if they hold on to it, they find this thing called the object. It's like a big old monolith, round monolith planted in the ground, and all these ape men are digging it out. But they're not just ape men, they're super ape men, because this thing is of alien origin from another world, and it mutated them, giving them like bigger brains and other, smarter, and they're being really militaristic, precision way of digging this out to get it out, and the thing's basically controlling them. So, if you get there, they're going to attack you and things like that. And they give you special powers. It's kind of neat, special powers, because if any two concentrate together, they can do a whole person on somebody. And then they can go over and beat the crap out of people. But anyway, that's kind of the thing you're dealing with. It's the weird fantasy with the swords and so on. And it's fun. It really sounds like a lot of fun. And you get to the heath and the mound and the temple, and oh my gosh, you're in classic dungeon crawl territory with a lot of traps. Not so much wandering monsters, but you have the traps, you have dead souls there. You've got to deal with a ghost, the ghost of his wife, who wants you to stop him. I believe there's a white in there somewhere, and things. And there's at least 2 saver dies I know of in there. One is just a plain old pit, a pit with poison spikes. You take the damage, don't make your save, boom, you're dead. You can't get any more old school than that. And it's just a beautiful book. You're going to get a lot of play out of this. You can get a lot of play out of this. And it was just one of the better things to come out in that year, 2015, for any old school or even new school game system. You can use this in 5th, no problem. Yes, it's geared for Astonishing Surgeon, which is descending armor class, but that's one of the few things you have to change in here. And all 4 of these, like I said, all 4 of these are good for any system, but especially the early advanced stuff. And I've seen people praise these to high heaven. I know my friend, like I said, Eric Fabiashi, he uses these. He's used all 4 of these to great effect. And you can steal, there's stuff to steal out of there. I mean, you can put the alchemist anywhere. He could be the focus of one adventure, of another adventure or something, that kind of thing. Or the fortune teller. Oh my God, plot hooks on the hoof. Anyway, go get this, try it out. Beneath the Comet, you can find it in print at the Northwind Adventures site for $22. RPG Now and Drive Through RPG, they're selling the PDF for $10. It says 22 and crossed out 10, so I think it's on sale right now, but it always seems to be on sale. So, buyer beware. Just keep an eye on it or something like that. And these are just, this is the best stuff that's ever to come out in the last few years for any system, or like I said. And if you love Astonishing Swordsman, it'll fit right in. Just slot it right into your campaign. Do whatever you want with it. Anyway, that is Beneath the Comet. And if you want to talk to me about it, you want to discuss it, tell me how you've run it, how you've used it, there's always oldmangrognard@gmail.com. So, until next time, bye-bye.